Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about what it means when a guy or girl says that he or she is busy. I'm talking about in relation to relationships, when you start dating someone, or sorry, there's a cat, I don't know if you can hear it. It followed me in here. It's not my cat. One of the viewers messaged me asking about how to keep a relationship going in terms of when you're dating someone and they seem to be suddenly they're busy all the time. You don't hear from them anymore, they stop texting back as much, and you're like, something's wrong here. I'm not a relationship expert, I'm not a psychologist. In my experience, when a guy starts saying that he's busy and it seems like he's not interested, it's usually because he's losing interest. Now, I know that sounds awful and bleak, so let me break it down for you. When a guy says that they are busy, 1 out of 5 guys actually is busy. The other 4 are busy with things that they would rather be doing. There's a number of things that you have to take into consideration. If you're already in a relationship and they say that they're busy, you gotta trust them a little more because you're already in a committed relationship. If you're just starting to date someone, then you need to prepare for the worst. Now, that sounds terrible. What I mean by that is, if you become emotionally dependent on someone who has started to become distant and seems like maybe they might be getting ready to duck out, you need to be ready for that. Because here's the thing, sometimes people's interest goes like this, and if it's like right here, and it could go up or it could keep going down, and you start coming at them being like, why didn't you text me back? You're lying. Blah, 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 blah. They're gonna keep going like this. Now it's your fault that it's completely screwed. So, the proper course of action to take when you're not sure about someone's level of interest is to make sure that they know that you're there when they want to hang out and that you're free and you're not being passive aggressive and you're not playing hard to get, so that if they do in fact stop being busy and want to hang out, you've left the door open for them to do that. But also keeping in mind that if they're on their way out, you're okay with that. Biggest thing that makes people screw up in these situations is they're not ready for the other person to leave. They think the only option is for it to either get better or to go up in flames. And if it goes up in flames, here's what's wrong with that. Somebody seems busy and loses interest, and you say, well, fine, screw you. What is it, cat? You're distracting me. Hey, cat, I don't have food for you. There's no food here. I have a banana. You can have a banana. It's a devil's fruit. Okay. Shush! So now you're at a crossroads. You're at the point where you're not sure if someone has any interest in you left. They've been kind of standoffish. There's 2 things you can do. You can, A, believe them, take it at face value. B, call them on it and say, you're full of shit and I think you're losing interest and the right thing to do would be to tell me. The problem with this one, though it is tempting, and trust me, I know, I've done it many times, the problem with that is then they can blame you for losing interest. They can say, you freaked out at me, you were passive-aggressive, you were angry, it pushed me away. The problem with that is that down the line, when you're thinking back to the relationship and you're all sad about it, it's going to make it 10 times worse because you're going to sit there kicking yourself and blaming yourself for being the thing that caused it to end. So, in reality, if it was going to end, it was going to end whether you did that or not. But you don't want to have that on your conscience. You want to make sure that you did everything right so that you can walk away saying, I did my best, I have no regrets. The other person left because they left. It wasn't because I pushed them away, it was because they were going to go away. And they are forced to take responsibility for losing interest instead of being able to blame you. I know it's not always the most fun thing at the time to try and be the bigger person and do that, but unfortunately, you're going to have to step up and toughen up in order to make this easier to do, in order to make it easier to behave in a mature way that isn't going to derail the relationship further. You have to make sure that you are prepared for the relationship to end. And what that means is that you have to know yourself. You have to know what you want out of your life, and that your life is something outside of this person. If your whole world is this one person, then you are absolutely going to be devastated if they don't call you back, or if they seem distant, or if they, heaven forbid, end the relationship. So what you need to do is to make sure that you know what path you're on, and make sure you have your own hobbies, your own life, your own goals that make you happy and that satisfy you outside of this person. You're going to be able to say, okay, this kind of sucks, or your actions are kind of making me feel this way, but you're going to maintain that level of maturity that's going to help the relationship potentially get better if that is an option. There's one thing that people always say, and that's to play hard to get. Now, I don't particularly agree with this because I've done that, and it usually just makes things worse, because then again, they can blame you for playing hard to get. So, but what the takeaway from that is that it's not that you need to play hard to get, it's that you need to play like they aren't the center of your world. And by play, I mean that actually should probably be true. So you need to make sure that if you can spend a couple nights without them, it's not going to destroy you, because you have your own stuff going on. That's attractive to other people. What attracts you to a person? Are you attracted to a person because you are the center of their world and they only ever want to be with you and they don't have anything else going on? No. That doesn't attract you to someone. That doesn't attract someone to you. So if the second you start seeing someone, you drop everything else and let them be the center of your world, chances are they're going to lose interest and they're going to stop being as attracted to you. So that's why I hesitate to say play hard to get, but make sure that you're not being needy. Make sure that you have your own stuff going on. Now, if you're in a monogamous relationship, this is a little trickier because you've already said, yes, I like you and you like me back and we're going to do this. You have to take what they say a little more at face value and hope that they mean it and that they will come around, because unfortunately in a relationship you just have to trust the other person to some degree. If there's no trust, you're not going to stand a chance. You can't be in a relationship where people are passive aggressive and don't trust that the other person likes them. You have to trust that they like you, expect positive intent, and just know that if they don't follow through with that, with what they say, that it is their fault, and yes, it sucks and you will get over it, but at the end of the day, if a guy's lost interest, then a guy's lost interest, and no amount of arguing with them is going to bring that back. It's only going to make you look like an asshole. So the best thing you can do is make sure that you've got your head on your shoulders. Kitty, meow, meow. You want to say hi? Say hi to the camera. Meow, meow. This is a one-eyed kitty. He was a stray, so he's had a street life. He's a tough cat. He's the neighbors take care of him, and he just followed me here. But what do you think about that? What do you think about relationships? Kitty? Actually, I think it's a girl. What do you think about that? Yeah, I bet you've beat up some guys in your day. As I was saying, your head on your shoulders. Your best hope in making a relationship last is to make sure that you behave maturely, make sure that you put you first, and have your own stuff going on. And also that if people say that they're busy, and they're too busy to make time for you, chances are they're just not that interested, because the fact is, people will make time for what they're interested in. If a guy says he's too busy, and he keeps saying that, it's time to move on. But sometimes, and this happened to me, I actually, if any of you remember Colin from my show, he said he was too busy, and I was like, okay, I'm done, over it, moving on. A couple months later, he messaged me back, and I was like, wow, he actually meant it, he was busy, and then we proceeded to be in a relationship. So sometimes it actually does happen, and people do actually mean it. So the best thing you can do is just assume that they may never talk to you again, and be okay with that. And then if it happens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Moving on to the next. I know that's easier said than done, trust me, I know. But you will get there. Anyways, thanks for listening to this, and I hope some of it has maybe helped you. It took me a long time to learn a lot of this stuff, so hopefully it can be a shortcut for you. I'm going to try and be vlogging every day this week, a quick little vlog like this, so if you have a topic you want, something you want me to review, or just a question about relationships or advice or anything like that, then let me know below in the comment section or on my Facebook page, message me privately or whatever, and I will try and do it. Have a good one, guys. Kitty says bye. Peace out for now.